Hi friends, I hope you're doing okay. I'm continuing to shelter in place and had a little extra time on my hands. And so I did a little research because I had heard there was an alternate version of the story of the Three Little Pigs. And I found it and I wanted to share it with you and see what you thought about it. So you can make your own decision about what really happened to the Three Little Pigs. This is the story as told by Alexander T. Wolf. And I suppose that Alexander T. Wolf stands for Alexander the Wolf, but he says you can call me Al. So he says, I don't know what went wrong with the whole big story about this big bad wolf thing, but I'm going to tell you how it happened. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not our fault that wolves like to eat cute little things like bunnies and pigs and sheep. He says, that's just the way we are. Hey, I bet if cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think that you were big and bad too. So, it was all about a cup of sugar. You see, I had a bad cold and I was staying at home, but I wanted to make my sweet little granny a birthday cake. So I was in the kitchen making it and I realized that I had run out of sugar. So I decided that I could walk to my neighbor's house down the street and see if I could borrow a cup of sugar. Well, this neighbor just happened to be a pig, and he wasn't too bright of a pig either. You see, he had built his house out of straw. Who in their right mind builds a house out of straw? So I knocked on the door, and in the minute I knocked on it, it fell right in. So I didn't want to walk just into neighbor's house. That would have been rude. So I called out, little pig, are you in? And there was no answer. So I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear, sweet granny's birthday cake. And that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great big sneeze. And you know what happened? That house of straw fell all in. Yep, that's right. Right in the middle of the floor then of that straw was a dead pig. Dead as a doornail. Poor little pig. He had been home the whole time. Well, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham laying there in the floor. So what did I do? I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. Well, I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house, and that neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little bit smarter, but not very much. He had built his house out of sticks. So I rang the bell on the stick house, and nobody answered. And I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And he yelled back, go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs of my chinny chin chin. Well, I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. Oh, I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but when this guy's house fell down, just like the other brothers, and I looked inside, and there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. So, now you know food will spoil if you leave it in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little bit better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next guy's house. See, he was the first and second little pig's brother, and he must have been a whole lot smarter, the smartest one in his family, because he had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house, and there was no answer. So I knocked again. And I said, little pig, are you in? And he said, Well, get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. That was kind of rude, wasn't it? I thought he was a very impolite pig because all I really wanted to do was borrow a cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday cake, and he wouldn't even give me a little cup. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a birthday cake from my dear old granny. But I felt another sneeze coming on, so I huffed and I puffed and snuffed and sneezed again. And then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can go sit on a pen." Well, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, said Alexander T. Wolf, but you don't talk about my granny like that. And I went a little crazy. So when the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down that pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing because I was just making a real big scene, but it was all because of that cold. Well, the rest is history. There it is in the news. You see, the newspapers found out about the 2 pigs that I'd had for dinner and that I was just going to borrow a cup of sugar, but that didn't seem like a good enough story for them. So they jazzed it all up, and they said that huff and puff and blow your house down. They changed up all the words, and they made me into the big bad wolf. So that's it. That's the real story. Alexander T. Wolf was framed. So I don't know what you think about that. Think about it, though, and let me know if you believe the pigs or if you believe Alexander T. Wolf. Have a great day, and remember to cover your mouth if you sneeze and to stay 6 feet away from anybody. Love ya. Bye.